Hello, all. Welcome to AWS Show and Tell. I'm Anil Nadiminti. I'm a senior solutions architect here at AWS, working with enterprise customers. We have Ishan, Myra, and Mark today. We are going to go to the introductions, but today we have a very special episode. It's Agent Core general availability, and we want to go cover a whole lot of details. We have packed demos. We are probably going to do a little bit of show and tell, but the tell part comes here first, and then we're going to go into a lot of demos. I promise you, there's exciting demos here. So let's go through the round of introductions here. Mark.
Hey, thanks, Sunil. Yeah, it's great to be back on Show and Tell here. Mark Roy here, been with AWS a little over 7 years. Got to start with AI ML, moved on to Gen AI, and now agents. So I feel like I've aged another like 20 years here because now with agent years, every few days is a full agent year. But
Oh,
yeah, good to be
this
here.
is new, Mark. Like, yeah, agent years is the new trend, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Myra.
For Gen AI used to be every month is a year. I think agents is
Yeah.
even faster now. It's every few days. We are getting old. Okay, so hi everyone, Myra here. I'm a tech lead for Agentic AI here at AWS. I've been here for almost 6 years now. I'm a data scientist from heart. Have been working on all the ML fun, Gen AI excitement, and now having a lot of fun with Agentic AI. And yeah, things are moving fast. We are moving fast, and it's exciting. And GA, yeah, it's amazing to be here.
Cool.
Isha?
Yep. Hi, everyone. Great to be back again. Finally, we are here. We have Agent Core generally available. Really excited to see what you all build with it. But we have so many cool stuff to show you today. I won't take any more time. I'll just dive right into it. We have so much to cover. So give it back to Mark.
Sounds good. Let's dive right in. I'll probably spend about just a few minutes here giving you an introduction, then we'll get into serious show and tell mode as well. Let's get into it. Yesterday, in fact, we hit our GA milestone. Super exciting. We launched Agent Core back in July at the New York Summit. The response has been amazing. We've seen just so many customers getting excited. It sounds like the timing was perfect with some of the challenges that they're all facing. And in our work, we see it day to day with all of our customer engagements. But big milestone, fun show today to bring you up to speed on all that's happening. This is Agent Core and all of its services here. Let me set a little backdrop as to why it's so important, why it's so interesting. What we've found is that customers are getting trapped in prototype purgatory. So agents are living on laptops, no real business value because of all of the challenges. You see a few mentioned here, but we'll go into a bunch more as we dive into what's being offered here. But what we found is that just like with the introduction of the cloud back in 2006, customers needed an enterprise scale, enterprise security, and enterprise time to value. And what we're finding is that with agents, we need the same exact thing. So with Agent Core, we're delivering a comprehensive agentic platform. There's a few, core pieces of that make us unique, that make us really excited. Number one, build it the way you want. We're very open. You pick your agent framework, you pick your model, deciding your protocols. We're open to using OTel for observability, pretty much meeting customers where they're at. The next big one is enterprise level security. So you can't trust your agents unless you've got security figured out. At AWS, we've had a huge long history of security. Doing that right, we're doing it with agents as well. I won't go through all of these, but let me just wrap up with we're basically combining speed, scale, and security for agents, and that's what our customers have been demanding. So let's get into some of what's been added to Agent Core since we launched 3 months ago. The biggest focus has been introducing all of the things that you would expect with a GA platform. And that for enterprises tends to be more and more security, right? So what we've added is private link and VPC, so you can run all of your agents in a fully secure environment. Infrastructure as code, you've got to have repeatable deployments, repeatable creation of agents, gateways, and so forth. All of that's done just like with any of your traditional workloads as well. Now we've got infrastructure as code for the entire platform. Tagging is critical because you want to know which agents, which teams are spending on which components. You want to be able to look across different teams, different business units, be able to associate tags with all of your agent resources and manage them effectively. And then, of course, most of our customers aren't just in one region. There's a lot of global need for this. So we've basically expanded our initial 4 regions. Now we've got 9. So if you are in, it'd be interesting to hear where you're all from today, but I'm sure some of these regions are pretty important to you. So we've upgraded to 9 regions. Now, let me just cover a few of the upgrades that we've made to some of the core services. Probably the most fundamental part of the platform is our runtime service. It's the piece that really emphasizes that bring your own agent framework, bring your agent code, pick your model. We're basically giving you a secure, scalable, fully managed way to host your agents. You've asked for A2A support, and that's our one of our big deliverables here for GA. We've got A2A support. I don't think we'll show you a little bit of that today, but we'll be back in a week or two to demonstrate that. And we've done a bunch of usability enhancements as well to just make it as simple as possible. The balancing act here is we want people to be able to build agents quickly and get started quickly, but we also are giving them full configurability and scalability. So we've done things like make the IAM role creation automatic, giving it least privilege access to only the pieces that you need. We've added an ability to stop sessions. So if you want to tightly manage your agents, make sure they're not going too far, we've got APIs for that. You can configure how long an agent can run. We've got header propagation, which is basically giving you a couple of things. One is identity aware authorization. So when you call your agent, the agent knows who's calling, who is the user. You could use that to do your own additional logging. You could do that to hook to the right short-term and long-term memory, things of that nature. And we've also,
Sorry,
yeah,
Mark. I love how easy it is to get started, but also how much flexibility you get with all these new capabilities, right? So it's really having the full spectrum of getting your IAM role created automatically, and it's fine-grained, so it's already secure, it's enterprise-grade security. And then you want to move to production, you want to have that on a CI/CD pipeline, you want to have infrastructure as code, you can build up from it. Maybe you're adding more services, you're adding more things to your agent. It becomes more complex. You can do that incrementally. And this is really the core of what we are offering here. So it's really, really exciting to see all of these capabilities that will keep the developer experience great while also providing a lot of flexibility.
speaking of flexibility, if we talk about runtime itself, one of the core capabilities, of course, is to host agents, but we also let you make your own MCP servers and host those using runtime, using the same great capabilities of long-running workloads, large payloads. All of these things are supported by runtime. But now we're adding native A2A capability. We'll deep dive on that soon, but you get things like built-in agent card support, agent-to-agent communication with JSON RPC. All of that's built in, so you can really easily take your A2A code, host it in runtime, and get all the benefits of AgentCore runtime for those workloads and get your interoperability. A couple of new pieces with respect to memory. We've got a fully managed short-term and long-term memory. You've asked for customizations there, so now you have a fully customizable self-managed strategy. So we give you built-in ones to do session summaries, extract user preferences, things of that nature. Now, if you've got your own ideas or if you want to do maybe migrations from other memory platforms. All of that's doable with these custom strategies and with the batch APIs to inject long-term memory. We also heard loud and clear that you want these things as easy as possible to integrate with your agent framework. So we've taken care of that with LangChain, LangGraph, and more. And we've got metadata filtering and short-term memory. Two more quick things, and then we'll get our first demo here. On the gateway front, if you remember, AgentCore Gateway is an excellent way to take all of your existing APIs and tools and expose them as MCP. And then they plug right into your coding assistants, they plug right into your agents. We heard you loud and clear that you wanted MCP server as a new target type. So now you can create gateways that add in OpenAPI REST services, Lambda, and existing MCP servers, all within the same gateway. You get the full security benefits, you get the full search benefits, all of that is built in. Speaking of security, you also asked for doing inbound authorization using IAM. A lot of our enterprise customers have a huge investment in IAM, and although MCP has OAuth as a standard protocol, they also wanted to support MCP using IAM authorization. So we've got you covered there. I'm going to skip this one. I want to hit this last point and then show you our first demo. And that is, we wanted to make it even easier to get started, even easier to use both Strands agents and AgentCore and with any agent framework. So we've got a new MCP server that's easy to just drag into whatever coding assistant you're using. And then it knows about AgentCore and it can make your AgentCore development life easier. So let's flip to the first demo.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many capabilities here, right? So it's like, I mean, obviously the time is not sufficient to demo all of these capabilities, but we're here to definitely add more videos to this playlist that we have. We have a deep dive playlist on AgentCore. Please be sure to check that out. We'll add that to the description of the streams as well.
And the good news is, even though we don't remember all the launches that we are getting because they are coming up every day, our MCP server does. And this MCP server can really help you bringing your agents to life, and it can really help you creating very nice applications. So it's a great way to get started as well.
So
Yes,
I'll be linking the AgentCore MCP server in the chat.
Awesome. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Kiro is AWS's coding assistant. It's like Claude Code, Cursor, and more. It's got some advanced capabilities that kind of go a step further. We won't dive into all of that in this show, but let me just show you a couple of quick things. When you, let's see, where did they go? There's a Kiro ghost right there. When you bring up Kiro, you can manage your MCP servers. So this is how you can add in whatever MCP servers you want. So I've added in Strands Agents MCP server. You can get that from the Strands Agents website and from our MCP server for AgentCore. You can just pop that right in here as well. And what I did earlier, actually just about a half hour ago, I asked Kiro to make me a simple Strands agent to just do English to French translation. So it did that for me. So if I just run that interactively locally, I can say whatever I'd like here, and it's coming back with French. That's great. And then I asked Kiro, hey, please take that. Let's see, here it is. Take that simple Strands agent and make it ready for AgentCore. So it looked up all the information about AgentCore, and it figured out that all it really needs to do is these two lines of code, add this decorator here to make an entry point, and then run the app. And it was able to automatically do that, and then automatically configure the app, deploy it to the cloud, and then we can actually run that here. Let's see. Yeah, so here I'm actually running AgentCore invoke from the command line, and it's able to do a French translation. So all of this, I didn't write a single line of code here. And Myra, just to see, to push the limits here, let's say, all right, hey, Kiro, why not make this support Portuguese instead? Please update it to translate to Portuguese. Okay. Let's see what it does. It's making those changes. This is what we get for doing a live demo here. We get to wait a few minutes here. Long pause. Maybe we shouldn't done that. Shouldn't have done that live update. Why don't we come back to this?
Yeah.
Yeah, Portuguese is too difficult. Why don't we switch to the next demo?
Yes, sounds great. So we see how you can get started. You see that you can do a lot of things with AgentCore. You can start very simple. You can use the MCP server to create your applications. But then we want to move to production, right? We want to go and do some more complex applications. And we want to start setting up the CI/CD pipelines. We want to use infrastructure as code. We want to have VPC support, tagging, all of those. So to demonstrate this real life example here, I'm gonna walk you through our customer support agent, and I'm gonna share my screen for that.
Yeah, Anil, can we switch to
Yep,
Myra?
here we are.
Awesome, there we go. Yes, so let's go through our customer support example. All of these examples are available on our GitHub samples repository. We have a bunch of samples there to get started with the new GA capabilities, with the capabilities of AgentCore overall. And we also have some use cases there, end-to-end use cases. And this customer support assistant is one of my favorites that Ishan put together here. So it's a pretty awesome example that will demonstrate all of those different capabilities. So we have VPC support, we have infrastructure as code, so everything is deployed with CloudFormation templates in this situation. For the folks asking about CDK, asking about Terraform, don't worry, it's also available. We just wanted to demonstrate one of them. We need so many hours to demonstrate all the different functionalities here. Yeah, but all of this we get deployed, we get some taggings, and yeah, here is the architecture of what we're gonna do. So we're gonna have a runtime that has a couple of different tools. So we have tools that are available locally with this MCP server that it's deployed in the same runtime container locally to the agent. And this MCP server can look at some data and can analyze some tables. Then we have another tool that is also an MCP server, but it is hosted in its own AgentCore runtime. So AgentCore runtime can host both agents and tools. And here we are going to demonstrate that. So we are hosting the agent as an MCP server. In this tool here, we can do get reviews, we can get the products, we can do a bunch of things that a customer support agent would need. And then on top of that, we have a gateway that will check for warranty supports and warranty claims to see if a certain product still has warranty. And all of this is deployed inside of VPC. So runtime, everything is inside VPC. And we are using private link to the communications. We are deploying everything with CloudFormation, and we are adding a bunch of tags. Before I show you real code, let's just look at the data. So the data here is also pretty complex. We have different systems. We have data available on Amazon Aurora PostgreSQL. So if you want to ask things about users, about products, about orders, they are all on PostgreSQL. Then we also have some data on DynamoDB tables. So when we are talking about reviews, when we're talking about products, those are on DynamoDB tables. And exposed via gateway, we also have data on DynamoDB for warranty and customer profile. Now, EK is asking me, why do we need all of this different data exposed via gateway, not via gateway? Why do we have all of those different ways of accessing data? Because we are talking about enterprise use cases, right? So we are talking about reusability. We are talking about different teams collaborating with each other. Warranty is super common. I need that for customer support, but EK also needs that for IT support, right? Like someone has to actually work on the claims. So someone has to actually fix the things. So it's a tool that it's shared between different teams. While when we are talking about user here, so when we are talking about like the reviews, when we are talking about some of those products, this is more specific to this use case, for instance. In this scenario here, you can have different scenarios. We also didn't expose the MCP server on the gateway, but that's your homework, right? Like all the code is available. After you finish today, you're super excited and you want to have this MCP exposed on the gateway. You can also change that and build up on it. Okay, so Ishan, why don't you walk us through the code for it? And I'm just going to change to my IDE here so that we can see a bit of the code. But yeah, how are you structuring all of this code?
Right. So here, first of all, if you see under Customer Support Assistant VPC, we have quite a bit of folders here. So the first one that Myra is highlighting right now is the agent folder. Here is the main agent core, the one that you saw. Now here I have my Docker file, which is used to build this container. By the way, all of this is through GitHub. So whatever is on GitHub, my code build takes that, builds it, puts into a ECR, builds my runtime. This is the code pipeline that you must have in your enterprises. So we have Docker file, we have main.py, and main.py is the entry point to my agent.
I just
I
want to
also
take a step back here to say how amazing that is. That means that you're having CI/CD pipelines. So AK is changing the code, things are getting improved every day. You can trigger the pipeline. Your code build is deployed again. Your agent is updated. You have a new version. Everything is automated. That's production readiness.
Yep. And how do I trigger that pipeline? I just push to my GitHub repository. That triggers my pipeline. That triggers a new version of my agent on AgentCore runtime. So that is number one. I also have MCP DynamoDB folder over there. That is my MCP server. Now this server, it's a very easy server. If you want to go into it, it's actually just querying my DynamoDB table. It's just read-only MCP server. I have deployed this using fast MCP SDK, and all of that code you can see in main.py as well. Finally, under the CloudFormation, I have all the CloudFormation stacks, and here I'm following the best practices. Each of these stacks are repeatable sort of stacks that you can use. If you want to just do VPC stack, you have all the VPC setup. If you just want MCP DynamoDB, you have the MCP server stack. All of this is repeatable, and I've created it as such. When you deploy, actually, all you have to do is run a script, and it deploys all of these cloud formations into your AWS account, and you will have all of this running end to end.
And this is all documented for you as well. So you can go through the README and you can do deployments here. You can do the standard deployment, or you can create more complex ones. One thing that I want to highlight here as well is that this is connecting with AgentCore identity, and this AgentCore identity is using Cognito. So here you have to set an admin Cognito user. So you're passing your email and passwords, and those are securely stored as in the as a secret manager in this application, so that you can use that and you can connect with your application. We also have like details of everything that it's deployed in this stack and how to test the different pipelines. So you can test everything together, but you can also test connection to the agent, test gateway, all of those, as you would have in a project that it's running in production. So the README here is a fantastic job as well. You also can see a video of like the customer support agent working as well, but we will do that live. Cool. So we just saw Mark's agent, and we saw that Mark's agent had the import of the SDK, it had the initiation of the app, it had an entry point, and it would run the agent. It was a very simple example. It's the same for complex ones. So we still have all of this when you're using the SDK. When we are looking here at the agent that it's being deployed to runtime, you're still gonna import the AgentCore app. You're still gonna initiate this app here, mark the entry point, and have the run. But these can be more complex as well, right? So, okay, what are we doing with lifespan here? What can you do?
Yeah, so let's talk about lifespan events. So lifespan events lets you execute a piece of code before your server is initialized and just before your server is shut down. So at two places. So before it is initialized and then finally before it is shut down. So it lets you do a lot of things. For example, you want to initialize some connection to resources which take time, and you want that to happen once just before the initialization of the server. You can do that using lifespan. And then finally, once the agent has completed processing and now the server is going down, you want to clean up some resources or clean up some connections. All of that you can do in the lifespan. Here, for this particular scenario, what I do is whenever whenever the server is initialized, I create my MCP clients, I start my connection, and just before it is shut down, I stop all of my connections. So just following best practices here, starting and stopping of connections. And here you can see that in the lifespan code as well, if you scroll up, Myra.
Yes, so this is important here because we are creating a local MCP server, right? It depends on your code, it depends on what you want to have, but it is pretty flexible. So you can have a bunch of different applications built up with AgentCore runtime. Okay, so when we are talking about local MCP servers, we also need to have those in the Docker file, right? And when we are talking about a starter toolkit, and I think here, let's take a step back and let's discuss all the different ways you can interact with AgentCore. So you can interact with AgentCore using the basic APIs. You can interact with AgentCore using the AgentCore SDK, which is an abstraction on top of it. And then you can interact with AgentCore using the starter toolkit, which is even a bigger abstraction on top of all of this that makes it pretty easy to get started. And then you can also interact with AgentCore using infrastructure as code. When we are talking about the starter toolkit, you don't need to create your Docker file because everything is done for you because it is made to make your life very easy. So you can create your code, you can deploy it, and you can just get things done really quickly. However, when we are going to more complex applications and you don't want the standard Docker file, you want to start doing more complex things. You want to start getting your MCP server downloaded here, for instance, like EK is doing in this example. You want to have this control, you want to have this flexibility, you want things to become more complex. So this is also possible. What we want to do with AgentCore is keep things super simple so that you can have a great developer experience while giving you a lot of freedom to customize everything. So to build very complex applications. And here is a great example of EK building a more complex application. So EK, can you explain your Docker file here as well?
Sure. Yeah. So here, if you see, I have a bunch of environment variables. As you can see, I have my region that I configure. So I just do this for US West 2. Of course, you can do this for other regions. In the README, if you see, right now it's compatible for US West 2 because of these environment variables right here. Then You see the Docker container being one. So just telling that, okay, you're being part of the Docker container, just following the best practices here. Installing the dependencies, as you can see in line 13. And then finally here, if you see on line 26, 27, 28 is where I install first the requirements. Here I'm running a Strands app, right? So I want to install the Strands SDK, the Strands Tools SDK, all the good stuff that I'm doing inside the code. I do that in requirements.txt. Then I install AWS OpenTelemetry distro. This package alone lets me export my hotel traces to AgentCore observability, and we'll be showcasing that too. This package alone, once you install it and you use it, you'll be able to export all of your hotel traces to AgentCore observability. Finally, I install AWS Labs Postgres MCP server. Now, I install this once, and then inside the code, I initialize the connection. I talk to it, and you will see the run query. Whenever you see the run query during the demo, this is the server that is being used. And the transport that I'm using here is std.io. So it's not streamable HTTP. It's running on the same server as the agent. Another great point here that I wanted to highlight was, since the agent is running inside a VPC now with no internet access, uh, I, I don't get to download this inside the code. I can do that using UVX, but I don't get to do that because now it's an enterprise agent core runtime, right? I don't have internet access. I cannot download just about anything from the net. So I download here first in the Docker file and then start using it inside the code.
So that's a question that was asked, a couple of times in the recent times,
Yeah.
about enterprise applications that are within the VPC that need, that need this agent core connectivity, right?
Yep. And I think we'll be talking a little bit about that too when we talk about gateway.
Mhm.
But yeah, okay. So this was about the Docker file itself. What is next, Myra?
Yes, let's talk about now using AgentCore runtime to deploy a MCP server, right? So we got our local MCP, we got our agent, but we also want to have a runtime deploying an MCP server. So what changes here? How different is that?
Not different at all, actually. So here, what I do is I use the fast MCP library. So you must have written fast MCP code already. You already have those fast MCP servers. How do you get session isolation, enterprise grade security, and all of the good stuff? Just put it into runtime. So here, I've not changed any line of code, by the way. This is as you would see in any MCP code, right? So you see I have a few tools defined. I have my two tables, which is the reviews and products. I do read queries on them, and so on and so forth. One thing that I've added here is on line 99, if you see, I've added a middleware. And what middleware lets me do is it captures the request when they're coming in and captures the responses when they're about to go out from the server. All I'm doing there is I'm just creating my open telemetry traces so that I can actually see what's going on inside my MCP server. So I log everything, what tool is being invoked, what are the parameters, what are the responses, all of that being part of my agent observability. So yeah, I mean, this is you can do this with any MCP code, by the way. When you want to deploy this, you either use the starter toolkit or the Docker file that you can see here and just deploy it into AgentCore runtime.
The MCP Docker must be very complex, right?
You tell me.
Actually, no. It is very simple. So it's simple to deploy to runtime, and it's amazing that you don't have to change any lines of code. So it is like building your MCP server, but now it's on runtime. Now it has enterprise security. Now it's scalable and available, right? So it's pretty awesome. Let's talk about infrastructure as code. I read somewhere people asking if you can deploy the agent core components as infrastructure as code. And the answer to this question is yes, you can. There are new CloudFormation templates that allow you to deploy your runtime, that allows you to deploy your gateway, that allows you to deploy agent core components as infrastructure as code. So here, what are you doing with your runtime?
Yep. So here you can see, first of all, I'm creating my AWS Bedrock AgentCore runtime resource. I provide my role. Definitely recommend diving deep into that as well. So that role lets me execute code inside my runtime with certain privileges. For example, if I want to query my DynamoDB table or secrets manager or AgentCore identity, more importantly. So I have my role. Then I have VPC. Uh, and inside the VPC, I provide security group and subnet. Now, this security group and subnet has access, has the Aurora instance. So you'll see in the demo, we are running SQL queries on Postgres Aurora server. That is inside a private subnet. It has no internet access. So through this network configuration, I'm able to connect to it without parsing the public internet. Then I have my ECR repository, as you can see, line 827. I have my ECR repository, then the authorization configuration on 831. Right now, I'm using custom JOT. So I'm using OAuth 2.0, Cognito to manage inbound authentication. You can use IAM if you want, but here I'm using Cognito, and you'll see when you log in the demo through email password, this is what allows inbound to your AgentCore runtime. And finally, environment variables. So you can pass environment variables, and this can be the model ID. I want to use Sonnet 4 or the region, the MCP ARN, provider ARN, Aurora secret ARN. All of these you can pass. Finally, tagging, which is great for a variety of purposes. For example, you want to see what is the cost associated with certain tags of yours. This can be development environment, production environment, test environment, and so on and so forth. So definitely recommend tagging here all the way.
I saw a question in the chat about having all of the hotel logs saved on S3 or somewhere. Here is the answer to your question. So you can have a log group on CloudWatch, and you can have all of your hotel logs saved there. So with that, you can export it to any third-party tool you want to use. And we also have samples to do that on our GitHub repository. When you go to AgentCore Observability third-party integration, you can also see those there. Yeah. Last thing before we go and see everything on our AWS account that I wanted to highlight here is that you can also get a gateway here. So also created with infrastructure as code, everything created with our CloudFormation template here. CloudFormation is great, but you can also do CDK, you can also do Terraform. We are working to get all of those samples out, and they will be out on the repositories. So start this repository, and we are going to give you more and more content there as well. So we are working to make this more digestible as well. You think this is too complicated to get started? No worry, we got you. We also have a folder for CloudFormation templates that have much simpler use cases. So you can have a Hello World agent there that showcases the different CloudFormation templates, and that can get you started pretty quickly. But we are talking about real world applications. Let's showcase them, right? Let's go and have some fun on the console.
Mara, I wonder if you want to make sure we leave time to show where this will all land as well. You want to show the experience that is offered by the chat as well?
Absolutely, and we are gonna do some live demo. It's not live if we don't try and execute stuff by ourselves. So yeah, here are all the CloudFormation templates that have been deployed. I've already deployed this stack because it takes a little bit to get everything running, but essentially what this will do is create all the infrastructure that we need. So it will create your runtimes. So here, for instance, we are talking about our agent itself, so the customer support agent. I've enabled logging, enabled tracing, all of this there by default. We got a bunch of tagging as well. So if you want to do this tagging, it is there. You can see your CloudWatch logs, you can see your endpoints, all of this gets deployed for you. Then we also have gateway. So in the gateway, we are deploying our gateway. We have our target as a Lambda function that can check the warranties. Also log enabled, so everything there for you. And we have our identity. providers here as well. So we have identity for our MCP server and for gateway here. And yeah, all of those available here. Okay, so let's go and do some demo. First of all, we've integrated identity, so we get Cognito to work here, and I need to create a token, so I'm gonna log in to my Cognito user. I got my customer support here, and now I'm gonna start asking some queries. So we are just starting with a hi, how are you? And we get some reply from the agent. Let's now ask a question.
I like the streaming response as well, right? So that's
Yes, and the visibility of what is being done here. So, for instance, I'm asking to get a complete profile of a customer with a customer ID, including their purchase history and details, right? So here it will first try to get the customer profile, and it will give me the results for this customer profile. So this is using the gateway. And then now it will run a query to see what this customer is doing from orders perspective. So in this case, it's using our local MCP to run this query and see the recent orders.
I think a
Let's
great point here is a lot of the times everyone is talking about how to do text to SQL. So just with that MCP server that we installed in the Docker file and now we are using with the agent, we're able to do text to SQL. We are converting language into SQL queries and then executing them. So if you see the results as well for this run query, you'll see the text to SQL output that you get out of your MySQL, PostgreSQL databases, which is great. It's so much easier to get started.
Absolutely. And it can get complex because we do have our agentic AI, right? So that means that our agent can decide what to do. And that means that our agent can decide to check different systems and invoke different tools. So here I'm going to be a bit more ambitious and I'm going to ask a query to the agent that will require lots of different tools. So I'm going to ask about this laptop pro. In this case, I'm passing the serial number and reviews because of the way our tools are implemented. Once you implement better tooling capabilities, you don't need those, but in this case, we need. But I'm gonna ask about this laptop. I'm gonna ask about customer reviews, inventory status, and warranty information for this serial number. So in this case, we are going to go to the warranty first. We are going to get the serial number, see the information about this one. We are going to go to the reviews, see the two reviews about this computer. So it's excellent. It has a good value. And then the last one, it is a bit less let's define what it needs to do. So in this case, it needs to go to the products table, but we don't have like APIs that are exactly mapping to this products table, but we do have the text to SQL. And based on this text to SQL, now we can get this information. So we can see what is the information about this product. So now we got our product, we have inventory, we have warranty status, we have the reviews, all of this done for you. What if we want?
It looked like those tools were being executed in parallel. Was that happening there?
Yeah, for a
Yes,
few of them, yes.
Yeah. Nice.
it's
What about the
amazing, right?
metadata, Myra? We can also see the metadata on the UI if you want to showcase that as well. On the chat itself. So there is a metadata.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome.
So you can see how many tokens it consumed and so on and so forth, which is great for any debugging purposes.
so Ishan, for this demo here, like how much of schema did we have to define for the agent to understand details about the database?
Right. So for Aurora database, what my MCP server exposes is get schema as a tool. So using strands, what I do is I load the schema of my Aurora database during the initialization. So during the lifespan, I load the schema of my Aurora database into strands so that my agent is aware of what the schemas look like for all of the tables that are in SQL. And then it is much more aware. And that's why you see it just writes the query once and gets a great response, right? It's not redoing it again and again because it's aware of what the schema looks like. So yeah, but my MCP server here comes to the win because it exposes a tool to actually get the schema of my Aurora databases, Aurora tables.
Awesome. Let's try and ask some more difficult questions. And I want to see the whole customer journey for Jane. Let's ask like the complete customer journey for Jane Smith and from registration to her last interaction. So here we are starting to ask very complicated queries, right? And we are getting our agent to work. And this agent is going to the user database. It's getting information about Jane. It is going to the customer profile, gets more information about Jane again, and it will tell us a lot about Jane, right? Like when did she join? What's her current status? So she's a gold tier customer. She has ordered last October, and yeah, like she still has some pending order. Now, what about finding discrepancies, right? Like we're talking about different tables that handle customer data. Let's see if our agent is smart enough to find discrepancies in the database. So here we are getting the customer information, and then when we get the customer information, we are also getting the customer ID and getting it from the user table. So we have two different tables. And now we are getting the orders as well. And what we can see is that there is a discrepancy. So Alicia has two different emails. And yeah, like also the order is not really matching. So look how awesome your agent can now also help you debugging the quality of your data and can help you finding those kind of issues in your data. And
Hey,
yeah.
Myra, I'm wondering if you could pop back to the architecture diagram and kind of recap what we've seen here. This is incredible, how many different pieces we've shown here. So much different than my hello world that we showed at the beginning here. This is closer to a real world scenario where you need the security, you need the scalability, the performance, and the repeatability. So
Absolutely. And here is the architecture again. So we do have a tool that is under the gateway that will check for warranties, that will get a customer profile. We do have a local MCP that will run the SQL queries that can access our databases and can get all of this information about users and orders. And then we do have a MCP server running in an AgentCore runtime that can get product reviews and can get product informations. So a bunch of very, very important tooling for customer support types of use cases, right? So
We have
let's now
one
take.
question that's coming in the chat, and Philip has touched a point, right? I mean, he's saying, can you make sure agent will not accept any SQL injection? So maybe let's talk about SQL injection, maybe security, some guardrails that we can include in our architecture, right? So how would we do that?
Absolutely. I mean, you can add guardrails to your agent. So adding guardrails to avoid SQL injection is an important one. The other point here is that our SQLs are more for getting data. It's not writing anything back in the database. So this is an important point for writing things back in the database. You need to have to be very careful on what your agent is doing there as well. And then, of course, like all the identity parts of it is really important and setting, like writing your agent in the way that it will work for your use case is really important here. Okay, let's take a look on our observability here. So we just ran a bunch of queries for the last 5 minutes. And let's just take a look at what we got here. So we got a bunch of traces because everything is a trace here. We got two agent endpoints. We can see our sessions. We can see our different traces. We can see the different agents as well. So you can deep dive into the agent core one and get information about latency, about token usage, any error that you might have had, throttlings, all of this information is available here. You can also deep dive on your traces and everything. But you can also get information about a gateway. So the gateway here, we got 2 invocations to it. You can see information about latency. All of this is available on our observability capabilities here as well. Yes, I think this was a lot. And again, like all of this code is available for you on GitHub, and you can explore, you can play around, you can change things. You can do the homework of exposing the MCP server as a target in the gateway as well. So like changing the architecture is also pretty important here. But Mark, do you want to talk a little bit more about like AgentCore overall and about our resources? Because what we have is a lot of resources for you to get started.
Sure. Why don't we flip back to my screen for a minute, and you'll be happy to know that my Hello World French translator learned a little Portuguese here. Let's see how well it does. You can judge it. Good morning. How are you today? Let's see. Is that any good?
Bom dia,
Yeah.
sim, como estás?
Not bad.
Ótimo.
It didn't take that
Okay.
much time to get back, right? So that's the latency is low.
Yeah. So let's remind folks what AgentCore offers overall. So you're basically giving your agent builders the opportunity to go with whatever they've got. If they're comfortable with LangGraph, Crew AI, Strands, OpenAI agents, whatever you want to use, you can use your framework, define your own instructions, use your own tools, and then host that in AgentCore Runtime. And then take advantage of memory to make you see how easily the conversations in the agent were handled. You can use AgentCore memory to do short-term, as well as automatically make your agent more personalized by taking all those events and summarizing them. Then the next time you're coming back to your agent, you can take advantage of what happened in the past, make for a much more positive experience for your users. Everything is pinned by observability. All of these services are giving you what Myra was just showing you with traces and sessions and spans and metrics. You can see what's going on end to end across your agents, your MCP servers, gateways, identity, memory, and more. AgentCore Identity solves one of the truly most difficult problems on this whole agent spectrum is, you can build some simple prototypes when you need to be looking at how is your user going to work with an agent, which is going to then use some tools, maybe local tools, proprietary tools, third-party tools, maybe talk to other agents, interoperate using A2A. You need an incredibly robust identity capability to know the agent identities, know their agent workloads, handle inbound authorization from users using agents, and then outbound authorization to get at tools. All of this is covered for you and flexibly letting you use your IDPs. So if you're using Ping or Okta, Microsoft Entra, whatever you'd like to use plugs right in, as well as integrating with third-party providers like Slack or Jira, Salesforce, ServiceNow. All of those credential providers can easily be incorporated into AgentCore Identity as well. So you're basically giving this entire platform to your agent builders to just accelerate the time to market, as well as let you trust your agents because you know they're secure. You know you can look at observability to understand what your agent's been doing. And then I should mention AgentCore Gateway as well. We saw a little bit of that today. basically with Gateway, you're making every available resource more easily exposed as MCP.
And I would like to highlight here as well that you can use all of it together or each piece individually. And for today's demo, for instance, we had AgentCore Runtime, we had Gateway, we had Identity. We didn't add memory. We could add memory. It would make our customer support better to have these interactions, but we chose not to. And you can do that to your applications as well. So everything together fits pretty well and helps you creating very powerful applications, but you can also use them individually. And then you can also match and different applications. So thinking about different teams in an organization. One loves line graphs and wants to create a lot of agents with line graph. The other one loves the strands and it's creating different applications with strands. And then we have a third one that really is a fan of Crew AI. We can interact with all of them. We can deploy all of them on runtime, and then you can use things like HA to create complex applications that will combine those agents. And I would like to also highlight that this samples repository is really awesome and it has a bunch of those examples. So we also have like examples of multi-agent collaboration combining line graph and strands, for instance. So you can see how flexible this whole capability is. So flexibility is something we really took to heart and we really implemented on all of the different capabilities.
We have a couple of questions that are coming up, and maybe I'll just pop them here. Uh, like Amruzva is asking, how do I implement multi-tenancy? How do I do this with this architecture, right? So maybe speak about this for a second.
Yeah, so multi-tenancy, you could get that on the tooling capability. So having like different toolings available for it. Gateway is a good way of doing that. So you can have like a gateway getting the tools for your agent as well. Then like custom header is a good one that Mark was mentioning today, right? So you can pass the tenancy there. When we are talking about memory, you have actor IDs, so you have a bunch of different ways of also getting this multi-tenancy. Mark, EK, what else?
Yeah, I guess we'll see more demos. Samples in the GitHub repository. So please be sure to check that out um, to cover those topics, right? So yeah, let's go back to the resources that we have here.
Yeah, a few quick resources. We've got some pretty robust documentation available. We added quite a few quick start examples where within 5 minutes you can have something fully running with runtime, with gateway, with memory, each of the different services, and then in under 15 minutes you can have an end-to-end example running in your environment. So check out the quick starts, the API documentation, it's all very good. We've got some really strong workshops. These have been used by, I don't know how many thousands of builders already just in the last couple of months. There's a getting started workshop, and then there's a deep dive workshop. So check those out. We're happy to work with you to take you through those as well, but they're self-service also. We've beaten to death here the samples repo, but we do love it. We think it's pretty impressive. We've got a lot of tutorials, some end-to-end examples, some integrations. Check those out. Let us know what else you'd like there. And then we've got this series that we've been contributing to here. So there's a playlist out there to go into runtime as a deep dive, go into gateway, go into memory. All of those are covered. We had the introduction of AgentCore before, and of course today's GA deep dive as well. We'll have more to come as well. Multi-agents, observability. There's a bunch more that we need to talk about in the coming weeks. So.
And a question for Ishan, right? So as we come to closing, Ishan, you built this sample application here. How long did this take for you to, between all the other things that that you're doing, how long did this take to build this?
Great question. And I would say 2 to 3 days. And most of the time, I actually spent on the front end and managing my data so that the data is correct, but might have found a problem apparently with the email still. But with Agent Core in the picture, I could actually just sit back, relax, and focus on what actually mattered, the system prompts, are tools responding correctly, is my data correct, and so on and so forth. So yeah, 2 to 3
So
days,
yeah,
but
there you
most of
go,
the time,
folks. You heard it. So Ishan built this in a couple of days. So definitely explore Agent Core. Use all the resources that are here to explore. Start building agentic applications. This is the best time to build out there, right? Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Well,
Neil.
so we'll come back to you next week with more show and tell episodes, and we'll dive deep into the other resources that we have. Thanks for watching.